Monocopsis. You're at a party or a work event or some gathering where everyone seems comfortable and the conversation is flowing. And you're fine. You're talking to people, you're smiling, nothing is technically wrong. But there's this low-level, constant feeling that you're slightly off. Not unwelcome. More like a piece that doesn't quite fit the puzzle it's been placed in. Monocopsis is the word for that. The subtle, persistent feeling of being out of place. What makes it different from just being shy is that it doesn't really go away once you relax or warm up. It's more like something about your frequency doesn't match the room, and no amount of adjusting closes the gap. People who feel this regularly tend to have the same quiet thought underneath it all, that somewhere there's a room they'd walk into and it would just work, where fitting in would be effortless, where they'd stop noticing the gap. Most of us spend a decent amount of our lives looking for that room. Traurigkeit. This one comes from German, which should surprise nobody given the length of the word and the precision of what it describes. Someone reaches out to you. A friend, a family member, someone who genuinely wants to spend time with you and hasn't done anything wrong, and something in you just closes. You make an excuse, say you're busy, put it off, and then you sit alone, which is technically what you chose, but it doesn't feel good either. Traurigkeit, roughly the wall builder's sadness, is that. The urge to push people away even when you don't really want to. What makes it different from just needing alone time is the involuntary quality of it. It feels more like a reflex than a decision. And then there's the loneliness that follows, the particular kind that's hard to complain about because you created it yourself. Anemoia. You find a book of old photographs, or stumble on some footage of a city street from the 1970s, or watch an old home video with those washed-out colors and the slightly wrong aspect ratio, and you feel this pull toward it, a longing for that time, that look, that pace of life, which doesn't make much logical sense because you weren't there. You have no memories of it. There's no real reason to miss something you never had. And yet the feeling is real and it's pretty common. It's called anemoia, nostalgia for a time you've never known. The reason it happens is pretty straightforward. Old media only shows you the good stuff. The photos that got kept were the nice ones. The footage that survives tends to be celebrations and ordinary days that someone thought were worth recording. You're not seeing what it was actually like to live then. You're seeing the highlight reel, filtered through an aesthetic that now feels warm and familiar. What you're really longing for is probably simplicity, and the past just happens to be the easiest place to project that onto. Oculism. Sometimes, usually when you're tired or staring at the sky too long, you get this sudden, uncomfortable sense of how small you are. There are 8 billion people on this planet right now, all doing something. The universe is so large, the numbers stop meaning anything. You are one person in one place, in one tiny window of time, in a history that goes back billions of years. And yet somehow, the thing you said at work last Thursday is taking up most of your brain right now. That feeling is called oculism, the awareness of how small your experience is compared to the actual scale of everything. Some people find it freeing, like the pressure comes off when nothing matters that much in the big picture. Others find it unsettling, like the floor briefly disappearing. Most people find it both, depending on the day. Either way, it tends to show up uninvited and leave on its own schedule. Onism. You're going to live one life, one timeline, one body, one sequence of days, and at some point that becomes very real to you. Every choice you make is also a choice not to make 100 others. Every city you live in is a city you picked over dozens you didn't. Every path you take closes off paths you won't. The life you're building is, by definition, being built at the cost of every other version you could have had. Onism is the frustration of being stuck in just one place and one life. The quiet awareness of how much you're missing simply by being here, living this version, rather than any of the other ones that were technically available to you. It tends to show up when you're reading about a place you'll probably never visit, or watching a documentary about a completely different kind of life and feeling the gap. The internet has probably made this worse. You've never had such easy access to evidence of all the lives you're not living. Every corner of human experience is one click away, which is incredible, and also sometimes a lot to sit with. Because no matter what you choose, you're always aware of everything you didn't.